Caillou's Typical Day by Miss Missa on fanfiction.net. Caillou, wake up, Caillou's mom cried, shaking him. Caillou didn't budge. He snored loudly and flipped over. Caillou, Caillou's mom repeated. Caillou, wake up, you little shit! Fine, I'm up, Caillou snapped. He waited for his mom to exit the room, and he stripped naked. My body is sexy, said the bald 4-year-old boy. He danced a little, and then put his clothes on. He quickly ran downstairs and sat down at the table in the kitchen to have breakfast. It's milk and pancakes, sweetie, said Caillou's mom. This milk looks like cum, Caillou commented. Oh, Caillou, your manners are just lovely. The lady who'll be with you someday is going to be so lucky. Caillou picked at his pancakes with his plastic fork and then snapped it in half. I know, bitch. You always tell me that. Shut the fuck up. And with that, Caillou got a gun out of his pocket that he stole from his slutty play school teacher, Miss Martin, and shot his mother in the head. She let out a scream and fell to the kitchen floor with a thud. Caillou's emo and gay dad stepped into the room butt naked. He noticed his wife, who had a gigantic bloody hole in her head, and laughed. Thanks, Caillou. I never liked that motherfucker anyways, he said. He took a sip from his coffee and showed off his hairy legs to Caillou. Caillou screamed in disgust and ran away from his house. He ran into Leo's house with Gilbert following him close by. Okay, I've made it this far. I don't know what any of these people look like. I'm sure if you clicked on this, you remember who Caillou is, being that he's a little shit. But I'm willing to bet that you don't remember what any of these characters look like. I'm pretty sure that Gilbert is the cat, and that's all I fucking remember. I'm going to put in pictures of all of these characters the first time they get mentioned in the story, just like on the slides as I go through this so that you know who the fuck we're talking about. He busted in without even knocking and walked into Clementine and Leo watching porn and masturbating. They were so involved in what they were doing that they didn't even notice him walk in on them. Both of them were groaning, and Caillou got so horny by watching them that he, too, stripped naked and started fapping along with them. Ah, I came, Leo screamed. Me, too, said Clementine in delight. Probably got those voices backwards. You two are so sexy when you do that, Caillou said. Both of his stupid friends didn't even notice that he hadn't been there when they started and smiled. That was really sexy. It could have been better. I'm a lesbian, explained Clementine. Yeah, I'm gay, agreed Leo. I'm going to dub in the iDubbbz, I'm gay. His friends who didn't appreciate masturbating with him angered Caillou, and like the faggot he was, he got a knife and stabbed both of them to death. He put his ugly, dirty clothes back on and ran to his play school. At the play school, Miss Martin was reading a book to the class. Caillou put a gas mask on and poison gassed everyone in the room. They all puked their guts out and dropped dead. Caillou laughed evilly and ran to the playground. His naked, hairy dad was sitting in one of the rooms reading a porn magazine. He noticed Caillou coming towards him and hollered, Caillou, were my legs so sexy that they somehow scared you? Caillou growled and skipped over to his annoying father. No, faggot, you're ugly as shit. I fucking hate you. Go die. I hate emo fags, he shouted. And with that he strangled his man-ho of a father to death with the ropes of the swing and lit him on fire. Caillou smirked with his ugly, crooked lips that were for some reason away on the left side of his face. He got out a bottle of beer from his pocket, massive pockets, biggest pockets a 4-year-old has ever had. Then Gilbert appeared out of nowhere and okay, I guess I was right. Gilbert is the cat. What's that, Gilbert? You're a faggot? Dumbass, I already knew that, slurred Caillou. Then he spun around and started muttering to himself. Where am I? He asked to no one in particular. Then Gilbert slowly walked up to Caillou, his tail swaying dramatically with his slow steps. He brought his paw up to Caillou's crotch and in one swift moment tore the part covering his dick. Unfortunately, Caillou's penis came off with it. Ah! Screamed Caillou in agony. You cut my fucking penis and balls off, you annoying little piece of shit good-for-nothing cat! No! He started running in circles, bawling his eyes out. Gilbert smirked and walked off. All of a sudden, Caillou's baby sister Rosie grew wings and flew to the playground of the play school. She giggled at Caillou, who was still on the floor sobbing and covering his crotch area. Caillou no penis, she laughed, pointing at him. That used to be my nickname in high school. Now I can't masturbate anymore, Caillou whined, tears still spilling out of his small, beady eyes. What's that red stuff on your hands? She asked. Caillou saw the blood covering his hands and parts of his arms and legs and let out an ear-splitting scream. In fact, he even made himself go deaf. Oh my fucking god, what the hell is happening to me? He cried. Then Jason and Jeffrey, are these more Caillou characters, or is this from something else? Came out of the play school building alive because they had been in the bathroom fucking each other before. You guys are still alive? Caillou asked. Yeah. Everyone in the room was sleeping, explained Jeffrey in his babyish accent. Oh, okay. Of course, Caillou was deaf and too stupid to realize it, so he started cussing them out because he thought they were playing a joke. Eventually, he gave up and just farted in their faces, killing them instantly. He walked to the top of a building and started being emo like his dead father. I hate my life, he said, and with a final sob, he jumped to his fate below. They spelled fate wrong. They spelled fate F-A-I-T. Unfortunately for Caillou, he didn't die immediately because the building wasn't tall enough, and he just got his head injured. He eventually bled to death because no one gave a fuck about him, but the process was slow, agonizing, and torturous. The end. P.S. He went straight to hell and got raped by Satan. This was delightful, frankly delightful. If you remember Caillou, either from your childhood or because you saw him in the funny internet pictures, you probably know that Caillou is like the biggest shit on the internet and is probably just like a really horrible role model to give to kids. See also David, if you remember those books, David, don't like put your dick in the exhaust pipe of a car, those ones, right? I guess I'm supposed to give this a rating now because that's something I've been doing. For the writing, grammatically speaking, I only noticed one spelling error, so I guess that means that this is the first, 9 out of 10. Like, it gets an A. Best grammar quality on the channel so far. None of the writing was oddly repetitive. None of it had, bad spelling errors. All the punctuation was reasonably correct, so it's got that going for it. It's been punctuated. It has been punctuated. As for the content, I'm gonna give this let's go with a 6, because it was really violent and it was really bloody and there was a lot of cursing in it, and children's show characters in extreme situations is always a laugh. But it was kind of violent for no reason. It was kind of bad for no reason. It was kind of gross for no reason. I think that the epitome of bad, disgusting fan fiction has got to be like Sonic High School. Sonic High School is fantastic. Opening chapter to Sonic High School, Sonic's got gay ball problems, okay? Peak comedy writing. Maybe I'll read Sonic High School. Maybe I'll read Sonic High School. I've been putting it off because other people have already read it on YouTube, so maybe I shouldn't. But Sonic High School is the gold standard for really bad fan fiction. I recommend listening to the Brent Daniel Reed's version of Sonic High School. It's just perfect. It's everything that really bad fan fiction reading should be. And I wish this was more like that. I wish that this was more considered in its awfulness. I think that the author could have used more misspelled words intentionally. I think that the author could have made a story that was not, and then this happened, and then that happened. So, no, I'm changing it. This is not a 6. This is a 4. This gets a solid 4 from me as far as content. Anyway, on the end card screen, I'll put a link to a playlist of all my other fanfiction readings, as well as a link to my channel itself. That's the only thing that's on there, though, so there's a link to the playlist and there's a link to the channel, and they're both basically the same thing. Bye.